This exam application tutorial is on the national grid. The question for 6 marks. The first power station in New York used DC generators to supply 110 volts of energy to local offices and shops only. The cables had to go underground. Compare the modern national grid system to this one for 6 marks. So to really get 6 marks, you have to do this. How does the national grid system, the modern one we use, change the following aspects of this New York system? So how about you have to deal with all these things they've listed: DC, underground cables, 110 volts, supplying to only local shops and offices. So, and also how are transformers useful? Because we use transformers in national grid, we cannot use them in this DC power station. So let's deal with these one at a time. The modern national grid supplies 230 volts of energy to our homes, so more than 110 volts. It also uses an alternating current. Because of this, it means we can use step-up transformers over here before the national grid to boost voltage and keep current low. We cannot use transformers with direct current, it only works with alternating current. And this makes power transmission more efficient because it reduces energy lost as heat through the cables, and that's because we're keeping current low, and that's only possible with transformers. The national grid uses cables to transmit electrical power above ground away from developed areas, so we're not using underground cables anymore. It is also capable, because we use these overground cables and transformers to boost voltage, also capable of delivering power over much greater distances and not just to local shops and offices. And this means you need to build fewer power stations, because with DC you couldn't really travel very far. With electricity you couldn't really travel very far, so you had to keep on installing new power stations within a short proximity from each other. Also, step-down transformers placed after the national grid can lower voltage to safe levels for use at home. So there we've tackled the transformer advantage. Also, using AC generator makes it easier to change power output according to demand. If you remember how we generate electricity by moving that magnet or coil faster, we can output more power, so that's very useful. For example, we use less power in summer and more in winter because we stay in and have the heating on. So it's important to have that flexibility. Now, a lot of marks here. To get 6 marks, I would prioritize the points they make. So if you've covered DC, underground cables, 110 volts and delivering to local shops and offices, and made 1 point about transformers, you would get full marks.